So we have this intriguing and fascinating new mob in the preview version of Minecraft, which we are able to examine, test, and determine if it is indeed cool. I'll mention immediately that it is extremely cool, so let's begin. This is a preview version of Minecraft, so we can take a look at what will come in the next Minecraft update. However, not much should change in this regard. If anything occurs or alters with these creatures or animals in the upcoming version, I will certainly make sure to mention it in the comments section. So naturally, today we are discussing the Nautilus, which is a mob encased in a shell with a sort of face on its back. It somewhat moves or swims in the reverse direction. It appears really fascinating, and this type of mob spawns in each oceanic biome. In every single oceanic region spanning levels 38 to 58, we shall position several of them here. Naturally, they are aquatic creatures that inhabit water. When we take them out of the water, they start to incur damage. Let's wait a bit. As you can observe, after a specific period of time it starts to sustain damage, so it is more preferable for them to remain within the water. When we transition into survival mode and strike one of them, typically we will receive a reaction from it. He possesses the ability to launch an attack on us as well. Indeed, it is perhaps even more likely when he is submerged in the water, as he tends to exhibit increased activity during such times. At this moment, we can indeed be struck by him. Here you go. That's how it looks. Nevertheless, if it navigates through the ocean, it will not initiate an attack on us independently. We must take the initial action. Furthermore, should we desire to breed these nautiluses, we simply need to utilize a pufferfish, and in this manner, we can increase the number of nautiluses. As you are able to observe, it has indeed worked. We now have a small nautilus. It appears rather amusing, so that is the manner in which it functions. And presently, when we provide one of the nautiluses with a slightly larger quantity of these pufferfish, we have the ability to tame it. Once we have sufficiently fed our nautilus, we are then able to place a saddle upon it. And as you may have surmised, we possess yet another fascinating feature, which involves riding atop the nautilus. When we sit on it, we get the underwater breathing effect, meaning I can switch to survival mode. As you see, I'm on it, and I have air bubbles here that don't disappear. I am able to effortlessly navigate through our vast oceans and traverse the waters without the risk of losing any oxygen. Alright, I was unexpectedly attacked by a pufferfish, so it's important to exercise caution. However, as you can observe, I am still able to ride on it normally. I inadvertently demonstrated one of its features, which resembles a horse's jump. When we hold down the spacebar and then release it, we receive a boost similar to a jump. From a third-person perspective, as you are able to observe, it manifests in this manner. We have the capability to utilize it in an upward direction and execute a leap above the water's surface. It appears in this manner, and I believe it will prove to be quite beneficial. When we find ourselves situated on land, we are unable to leap upwards. We can solely utilize this acceleration to propel ourselves slightly forward and hope that we reach the water before our nautilus perishes, but I do not believe I succeeded, and that is how it ultimately concluded. When our nautilus has been successfully tamed and equipped with a saddle, it will navigate around us within a radius of approximately 16 blocks when we dismount. In the absence of a saddle, it will wander up to a distance of 32 blocks. In essence, if it is tamed, it will not drift too far away from us and will merely circulate in the vicinity. If our nautilus has taken damage, we can regenerate it with a pufferfish. As you can see, it already has full hearts. An additional intriguing aspect is that we have the capability to equip our nautilus with armor. These types of armors can be discovered within shipwreck ruins, standard ocean ruins, and within buried treasure chests. So these are all the various types of armor that are already present in the game. Those four typically spawn naturally within certain structures, but in order to obtain the netherite variant, we must craft it ourselves starting from the diamond version. Just like with every other item in Minecraft, we place it on the crafting table, incorporate our scroll and netherite, and thus acquire the netherite armor for the Nautilus. Now we can easily put this impressive armor on our domesticated Nautilus, and it looks like this. It's really cool, as he's fully covered with the armor. Certainly, we can persist in riding it with the armor equipped, which essentially signifies it possesses enhanced armor, rendering it somewhat more resilient in our confrontations. By the way, it appears extraordinarily impressive. And now with an improved perspective, as we are outside of the water, we have the opportunity to observe it here on land. And here on land, I will attempt to demonstrate all of these different armors. We will leap out with them. Here you are. So let us observe. The iron armor appears in this manner, the golden one presents itself like this, the copper armor manifests in this way, and the diamond armor appears in this manner. Interestingly, we possess a Nautilus variant that is essentially a zombie, akin to how some mobs in Minecraft possess a zombie version. Therefore, let us examine it. It appears in this manner, possessing a type of algae or perhaps a form of moss upon it, more akin to algae. And generally, when we switch to survival mode, it doesn't really do anything to us, but that's because I spawned it normally from an egg. Normally in our oceans, they spawn with a drowned on top, and then that drowned with a trident in hand normally attacks us, and the zombie Nautilus is chasing us with the drowned. So it looks something like this. I can spawn that drowned with a trident in hand. There is an issue, but it will appear somewhat like this. Typically, they spawn rather infrequently, so they are unable to locate any. However, we can visualize it and observe what occurs when I transition to game mode survival. Okay, I'm getting into the water and he's coming at me right away. Oh, another one has already attacked me, so we're literally being chased by them. And as we can observe once again, they also perform that type of leap, enabling them to swiftly catch up and strike us. Let's witness it one more time. Perhaps I'll manage to hit it. Slowly. Oh, and we have that leap, which we did with Pacha. They can normally do it too. And presently, the most fascinating aspect is that when we encounter this zombie Nautilus in this environment, we possess the ability to tame it similarly to a regular Nautilus. We can equip it with a saddle and even armor, allowing us to ride it in a normal manner. Here you go. Everything functions perfectly, so it's genuinely quite impressive, meaning we have essentially two distinct variations of Nautilus. One appears darker, particularly with that armor, it looks exceptionally dark and cool, while the other seems more approachable. It's also quite delightful that we have the ability to tame it. And a brief examination of it on land so we can observe it more closely. It appears like this, it's merely somewhat darker. Interestingly, these Nautiluses also ignite and combust during the daytime, similar to the zombie creatures in Minecraft. So that's all for the moment. I sincerely hope you found it enjoyable, and if you did, kindly leave a like and subscribe. It's quite significant to me at this time to have many of you here. Subscriptions are always appreciated. Thanks and see you next time.